Hi guys, it's Mark from the Sega 60 and Friends. Hi, 6-shooter, how are you? So, we're gonna talk today about MING. MING is a brand. You're gonna tell now, oh, it's Chinese. Not, first of all, it's not Chinese, it's Taiwanese. And if you mean you don't know that brand, or if you think this is a low-cost brand, you are absolutely, totally wrong. Because yes, they do low-cost stuff, but they also do better stuff. And you know MING since a long time. You know MING since the early 90s because they have done buggies and truggies for our brand, and the main user in the USA from these cars was HPI. The HPI Trophy Buggy and Trophy Truggy, Nitro and Brushless, was a MING car. The Forza Flux was a MING car. The HPI Apache series C1 and SC1 was the MING stuff. The new HPI Trophy Buggy and Flux normal and US version are MING cars, and the most of the cars since Hot Bodies the 8 are MING cars. That means you have some entry-level truck, some cool stuff, and some high-end, high-priced stuff under the brand Hot Body or HPI, because under the stock name brand MING, that's why I'm happy here in France to can get back this car as own brand and not rebranded, because we also had back in the time two brands in Europe who rebrand MING stuff, and because of them we don't can get the MING stuff under the label MING. The first of them was an Italian brand named Radiocommandé. They used the MING stuff, sell it for sure with higher price, not too much, it was higher in the price, but okay. And the second brand was T2M. This is a French brand. They rebrand the MING stuff and raise the price like HPI and Hot Bodies to not normal level. Sorry, but this is not normal. If you take a look at the trophy, the new Forza S Flux and S Truggy Flux, you pay here in Europe 750 euros for the buggy RTR and 850 for the truggy RTR. The MING original stuff, S buggy and S truggy in 6S, comes for 480 the RTR buggy version and 550 the truggy. It means 300 bucks lower in price for the same stuff. You get some difference at motor mount, maybe some positioning or something, but that it's all. It's the same front and rear end, and the truggy and the buggies, it's just a different layout from the chassis. That's it. And especially at the trophy RTR version, I have a problem. I get it, and we have the shittiest servo we can get in 1/8 scale now by the HPI brand on the RTR car. A 9 kilo servo on a monster truck, on a truggy and a buggy is not okay, sorry. Even if it is 50 is also way not enough for two cars. So the electronic motor and ESC is alright, the radio system is alright, but we was not happy with the tires. Especially the HPI Savage is not a MING car, but he has really bad tires. I had the Trophy Truggy, and first of all the tires come really fast unglued. The foam in there is really bad, so I had to unglue the stock tires, change the foam to can use my tire properly. Second stuff is that the the Forza series comes with 4 short shocks and 2 short shock towers. It really reduce the damper rate at the rear from the car, and the the Forza stuff comes with way too soft springs. When you put your battery in the car, your car is down on the ground, and you can try to adjust as many as you want your preload on the springs. That change nothing. The springs stock are not good, so you have to buy 4 new tires if you want to really ride your car, 4 springs and a real servo, once you have bought an 850 euro heavy price car. The MING series comes for 550 and you have nothing to change on it. So I'm not happy with that, but I'm happy with the fact that we can back have MING. The cool stuff is also, if you have already an HPI or an old HPI, Apache C1 is here. That's my Apache C1 here as a Subaru. You can buy the original MING parts for really less price. You have to imagine here, if I'm gonna buy some spindle for my HPI, I have to spend about 20 euros for a pair of spindle. If I take the same stuff from MING in the same plastics, it's just not branded HPI, I pay only 7 euros. That's almost 3 times lighter in price, and that's crazy. Also, the 775 T6 alloy parts for sure are heavier in price than the 6061 from the normal version, but still 30 to 40% lighter in the price than the hot body stuff. And this is crazy. So I'm really happy to have that here in my hand. Today we're gonna talk about the buggy. Next week I maybe gonna do a video about the Corellia Suga, and in 3 weeks we're gonna talk about the truggy version, or we're gonna switch the weekends. I don't know, I'm gonna see what happens. So this is the US version, and first we're gonna talk about the normal low-cost version. The normal low-cost version comes with cross screws, comes with 6061 alloy shock towers and chassis, just stamped, not machined. You get with the car some plastic shocks like at the HPI Apache. This is okay. I never had really special issue with my plastic body shocks on my Apache. Only thing happens to me is a pop out here in the upper end, the shock caps. But if you properly have set your grub screws here, that not happens. So this one has also, instead of the plastic arm holders, the low-cost version comes with a steel plate in the front, but plastic parts here to hold the arms together. The S version comes with 70-75 3mm machined chassis, shock towers 4mm machines, aluminium shock body, aluminium shock caps, and 70-75 T6 arm holders here, so I mean the braces here. They all have the same motor mount. It's a 6061 just machined. It's basic stuff, but it's way enough. You don't need any more. For sure, we all had preferred to get a slide in there to have a faster access, but you have many room here to get here with a screwdriver or with some Allen screws to put your motor out. Important point, you need 4mm motor mount screws. Your motor has to have 4mm holes for the screws. So take care, if you have already a motor at home and you want to use it here, that you have 4mm screws in there. It's normally not an issue because the most common modern motors has all 3 and 4mm holes in there. Some motors only have 4 and some older motors only have 3mm. So just take care if you want to have the roller. If you already have a motor, I say it again, you need 4mm holes in the motor plate to put the motor in place. For the room, you can go to what they use in competition, today's 68mm motors. I'm not a freak from that. I really prefer 74mm motors because 1 horsepower more. I love this. Even if I not use the full throttle, the full power, even if I drive it 4S, I prefer to use 74mm motors because that's the way I like it. But you have to know you have the room to do that. Here you have the servo mount with the receiver box that you get apart in the box. You not have to unscrew it to rescrew it like Arma does in the lousy roller stuff. It's a simple part, easy to put on. You have enough room for the most common servo also. You have enough room in the receiver box for the most of the receiver also. On the other side, you have the ESC and battery tray. Take care, battery tray is only 140mm long and a 50 in right in the high. How I said in the beginning, if you want to put ANS in the truck, you can do it. Even if it's crazy, if you want it, it's your buggy. You do what you want with your buggy. You have 7 screws holding this part down to the chassis, and it's apart from the stiffness. Without this part, the chassis, because it's 70-75 and only 3mm, is really flexible. But once you have bolted this baby in there, the flex gonna be reduced. If you need less flex than that, you can still buy 2 alloy chassis brace, optional rear and front, and also the top plate here in alloy. At the buggy, maybe I'm not gonna use it, even if it's a little bit flex. The car is really light. We're gonna have here an end weight with a 4S light battery and a 4S light motor, about 3.4-3.5 kilograms. In 6S we're gonna be about 3.8-3.9. So it's gonna be okay. In the truggy, this is what I'm gonna show you in 2 weeks normally from here, is that we're gonna have too much flex, like at the HPI Forza truggy. Same mistake. The rear stiffener is way too short and you have way too much space between the front and rear brace, and go to check my first run video with the Forza S truggy. I run it only just in a flat field, make some soft jumps, and already bent the rear CVD because the chassis is way too flex. I don't get it. Why did I do such stuff? Because it's really super easy here, like at the Hobau Hyper 9 or Hyper Star, to just make a brace from the rear on the top from the rear differential, so the rear end is absolutely stiff. If I have too much flex, I'm not gonna use the alloy part here because you're still gonna have the flex in the middle here. I surely gonna do something with a carbon plate to bolt here a rear end from the car to the middle differential. But first we're gonna drive it stock. U has a compact wing mount. I'm not especially a freak from wing mount, just bolted at the shock tower, because if you hit at the rear end as a basher, you the most of the time bend the shock tower or destroy your bulkheads. I really prefer when the rear ring holder goes down underneath and are bolted together with the rear brace, like by Arma, Hobau and many other trucks. Or the wing hold has to be really flexible to not have any issue with that. Center diff is filled with 100,000 CST oil. That's nice. That's something I like. I also drive my buggies this way. As you see, the transmission and the motor is put way outside at the left side to counterbalance the weight from the battery and ESC here. With a 4S system, I think this buggy gonna be well balanced, but I don't know with a 6S system if we're not gonna have too much weight at the right side. We're gonna test it. I'm a little bit concerned about that. We have here a really tiny small dog bone between the two cups, and as we see, but on many other brands like GQ, like Kyosho, they do it on the other side, differential in the front. You have a really small dog bone in the front here. We always have the same issue, really fast wear from the drive cups and from the dog bone. Personally, I'm pretty sure if they have used, instead of a steel dog bone, or a smaller steel dog bone, something flexible, or even a fat plastic dog bone to handle the flex, to have a, you need to have some flex here, like a Kirsch drive. This is why the most of the time, if you have a long dog bone in the front or in the rear from the car, you can see that you have really less wear at the drive cups and the X from the dog bone on the longer part, because you have some twist when the torque comes, when you hit the front and you lock the front, the drive shaft can just twist out the torque if it's flexible enough. Or they should have done it like Hobao has done it at the Hyperstar. It's not a dog bone, it's just a piece, lock it between the two drive cups and it works absolutely great. And you have a run length, no wear at this part. So I'm gonna check what happens here. By Kyosho it's a problem, on the GQ car it was also a problem. I'm gonna see what happens here. You have, and this is a major point for competition driver, for this version, they already have done another version with some upgrades at the car. Maybe, I don't know if it's gonna come this year or next year. They already, as we speak together here, won in 2023 World Championships with this, the second version from this car. So that means the driver was good and the car was also not bad. So here we have no fast access to the differential. That's something I miss, because you have to put 2 screws out here, 2 here, 2 here. That's already 6 screws. Then 2 here. That's 8 screws. These 2 screws go through the other side, and you have to hold here the bolts, the nuts. So you have parts keeping out. You have here a shime who can fall out, and all the plastic spacers here also falls out. It's not an issue for hobby drivers, for like me, so free riders. But if you want to drive competition and if you have to go for a quick change for something, you're gonna have a problem here. So I'm pretty sure they have done the second version with a fast access. And it's funny, because the Hobao VS2 has no fast access, the Serpent SRX 8 RTR has no fast access, and this Mignon RTR Truggy Buggy has also no fast access. This means that we have 3 brands who make cars to go on track who has no fast access. And whatever the better version from Arma, from the Typhoon, from Corelli has already fast access to the differential. They have not so much on the setup to do than these cars for the track, but they have this fast access. That's something I miss. I hope that Hobao will upgrade this to put fast access. You already can buy it with an alloy bulkhead, but you don't need an alloy bulkhead. And at the buggy is designed for the speed race car, but you can put it on the buggy, but it's overkill. So I hope that Mignon will do it. I hope that Serpent will bring it. I hope that, no, Serpent have it already. What did you tell? Don't forget, I make my French version videos, my German videos, my English version, and I talk about hundreds from cars, so forgive me if I'm sometimes lose my mind. So I also sometimes miss some sleep, for sure. I have my job, my family, and make the channel beside that. Sometimes maybe it's a little bit too much. So sway bars. I not have expected so big sway bars at a buggy. In the front it's a standard one, nothing uncommon, but in the rear, first of all, it's a fat one and it's a bright one. the roll bar goes more than the half away from the arms. That's not something really common. You have a really fast reaction from it. Look at this. You really act really fast. For sure, as optional part, you also get a set from sway bars, a set from harder diff machines, tools and some stuff, and many other stuff. You can put alloy hubs, C-hubs, front and rear. You can fully upgrade this car like the best from hot bodies. It's not a problem. They have all the parts in how to say, you can order it. I forget my word. I don't know how to say that. When the brand has already think on it and you can get it. So also think on something, if you are a basher or free rider, you have to keep in mind something different. Also, if you buy the S version, the chassis is a 3mm machine chassis, so you have here really thin material like at Hongnor X3 Sabre, at Losi X and all that stuff. So if you drive through rocks and stones, you're gonna have in the end some bump in the chassis. It's not gonna change anything at the way the buggy drives, but you really fast gonna get some bumps here in there. So if you are a basher, maybe, I don't know if it's the best if you get the S version or the normal version. It's on you. You have an alloy Ackerman plate with some cool little competition stuff here. Tools here are makes, so you're gonna see where are you with your steering. So you have here a little corn, so you can really aim the center from the Ackerman plate, and here tools more are here to aim the maximum angle from the steering. You can for sure go to a mechanical stop here, but you also can just reduce the angle easy on your radio system, and you not have to use some material to be at the same angle left or right. You just can use these little strips here to aim on it. Wheels and tires comes with the truck are and feels exactly same as the HPIs. That means not special. We're gonna see what happens if they're gonna be unglued or not. I don't think, because at the HPI when I do that I really was on the way to unglue the tire from the wheels, and here we have a really good hold on. First, when I see that, I think, oh, this is gonna, something was gonna break, but I try it. I really try to squeeze it and they don't break. That's also good. So even if if it seems to be not the best, it feels like it's gonna hold on. For sure, you have a not a non-painted body with the car if you take the almost ready to run, but you get the stuff for masking the windows if you want to paint, do the paint job with open windows. If you're not, you're gonna get the whole sticker sheet with all you need to do a nice body without doing too much at the paint job. You can for sure just use a white, blue or black body. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna send this body to someone who knows about paint job to make me a nice paint job. I don't know now if you're gonna go for easy force. I was first thinking, because it's so light, should I try here to do as less weight as possible, to do a super lightweight force modern 68mm motor vented, use a super light ESC, because I have from my HPI C1 here the old Castle ESC. Where is it? Just a moment. Hey, what's up? Here. In the Apache series, this Castle ESC burns out. It's a 4S, tiny, small ESC, but the Apache series is about 5 kilograms. This buggy gonna weight only 3.4. So if I not go for too crazy motor, I can use that one. This weighs 50 grams. It's clearly the lightest 4S ESC I had in my hands. I have already also a sensor here, so I can use a modern sensor motor, 1800 kV, not too much, not go too far. The goal is not to go fast, but to keep it light. So if I use that one with a small motor, really compact new modern battery, about 400 gram battery with 5000 milliamp, I can put here a Lexan ring. I already have that. G concept or Proline. This is a Proline one. I can use a Lexan Proline rare ring. The original, if you ask, it's Superflex. It's nice done. It's a cool job. I can use some super light tires and see if I can go below 3.4. I'm really interested if I use also some titanium screws and some alloy screws, if I can go down to 3.2 kilograms for a 4S buggy, would be great. But you know, I'm a little bit heavy on throttle, and if I put my MING G2 Max 8 system in there, I'm gonna have way more power, and even if it's 3, 4, 5, 600 gram more, I would have so much power in the truck I don't gonna feel it. So what should I do? I don't know. I'm gonna wait until I know. But maybe I'm gonna go for 6. You're gonna see it when once I have finished the car. Remind me that I explain you what I gonna use in there. So diff oil is stock 5000, 100,000, 5000. I use 10,000, so I have a little bit more rear action here, and I go for 60,000 cc in the front, so I lose a little bit front, but I win a little bit rear. That means I'm gonna have still a cool reaction from the car in the corner. Difference between too soft oil. I don't like too soft oil. For sure, if you have soft oils in the car, you're gonna corner softly and gently. But I really prefer to put the rear end out and to drift around the corner, because I do not competition, so I don't care about how fast I go in the corner. I just want to have nice and brutal action. If you already have one from MING, if you have a hot body version, HPI version, if it's the old trophy buggy or truggy, if it's the Apache C1 or SC, if you have the Forza old version, the new version Forza buggy truggy, if you have any hot body car after D8, just feel free to ask in a comment what did you like on it, what did you not like, which setup have you tested and prefer to all other setups. Did you drive 4S6s? How many times did you drive your cars? Where have you the most of the wear? And what is for you the most problem? For me, I had the most problem with the HPI stuff, because HPI goes down 1 time, 2 time, 3 time. So we get really struggle to get the parts here. For the moment, we have no more parts for the HPI Apache series. But now the new Forza buggy and truggy is on the market. We can get again parts. It's not exactly the same part at the Forza buggy truggy that at the old Apache, but it's not an issue to put the new part at the old car. It just fits. It's not a problem. I have done it. This is Apache. I destroy my rare hubs. The only hubs I found really easy and cheap was from an HPI, not the trophy series, the Pulse, from the HPI Pulse series. So I take the rear parts from the Pulse series and just put it in the Apache. It works. I also already at the French version compare the Apache here. This one is about 20 years old to the, not 20, it's from the first one to maybe 12 or 15 years old. I don't remember exactly when the Apache comes out. The Forza Flux was about 2000 something. If you know it, just tell me in the comment, please. So I compare. We have the exact same parts with exactly same bulkheads as the old Apache here. I would say the difference is that you have here, because it's a lighter one, you have straight tooth at differential, and the Apache and Truggy series has spiral cutted tooth at the differential. I also love a little bit of an upgrade here. On the older version you have a screw in the front and in the rear, and just a 3mm pin in there. Here they have changed something. You have still 3mm there, but you have a 5mm head here who is in the arm. So you just have to put this screw out, push here, and you can put here it out, like it's like a nail, something like that. That's cool. I miss here a ring on the CVD to not lose the pin. For sure you have a grub screw here, but we all know that this is something gonna be a little bit shaked out after few run. If you keep it in mind, and after any run just check if it's okay with the pressure on the pin, but sometimes you're gonna forget it and your pin gonna fly away. So easy to do is just to open here and put some shrink tube on the head from the CVD, so even if the grub screw gonna be a little bit untight, or if the pin gonna have a little bit wear and begin to move in the head, you don't gonna lose it. You also have here some in the front right and rear left end screw works against the normal. I mean normal, it's against all over. Here you tighten it going right and untight going left. Front rear and front left, it's the opposite. You're gonna untight it and tight it. They do that on many competition car because they have checked out that with the suspension move here, if I press against here with the pressure, you begin to untight it because of the mechanical work from pressure on suspension work. I don't know in English how to explain you better than that. It's maybe not really correct, but I hope you understand what I mean. I mean, when the suspension is working, you have some power, some forces working here at one side was not the same at the when it comes back, and this causes these screws to comes out. You see that on many cars who have screws here at the arms, like two-wheel drive series from Traxxas or something. They all have the same problem. You always have one of the two screws at the side who comes out from the arms. This is because of these forces. You not can change anything at the high from the rear hubs like it's common on the most modern buggies. You still have many holes to adjust suspension and mechanical stuff to do the buggy, to make the body work like you want, in or outside from my in corner or out cornering. And that's it. I think I get it. So I want to know from you in the USA if you can have Mignon in the USA or if you not can because of HPI. How I say, here in Europe, early 90 to 2000 we cannot have the MING stuff because of Radio Systemy, who is the main import, who rebranded. Then we had the same stuff with T2M. So for the moment they lose the general import because they not sell enough, but it's absolutely normal to not sell enough for them, and I'm going to tell you why. Because of the price. I tell you in the beginning from the video that the MING RTR 6S S version buggy is to have about for 480 euros. T2M make the electric version only in the cheaper version, that means with all the plastic stuff, with the not so good alloy, RTR 4S for 550. That means you pay more for the entry level downgraded buggy 4S as for the full optional 6S buggy from MING. And that's crazy, and that's why they don't sell enough. But that's the same issue we have with HPI, I would say, crazy price. And that's why I'm happy to see more and more Chinese and Taiwanese brands come back under the own name. Ofna back in the time rebranded Hobao, Hongnor and Team C. Now we can get Hobao under the label Hobao, we can get Hongnor under Hongnor. Team C is dead now for the moment here in Europe. We don't see anything about Team C. So I'm happy to see Crocrc. Crocrc is not an American brand. Crocrc is a Chinese brand. We have Yikong as a Chinese brand. We have HNR as this is together work with Hongnor, also Taiwanese brand, Taiwanese Chinese brand. You have FS Racing, rebranded by FTX in England, who is a Chinese brand. And the crazy stuff, or even Alaro, is that all that stuff back in the time by the people told cheap Chinese stuff is better out from the box than most of the great brands. The Yikong DF7 is better than the UDR and the Lozi Ray series. Sorry, it's a fact. And you have better electronic in there, you have a better servo, better steering, better suspension, and the car is tough. The Cross RC is as good as the TRX4, and the Wow MTX is way better than the HPI monster truck, better as the Lozi XL monster truck. The HNR is way tougher than Arma Outcast. Sorry. Once I get the time and had put together all infos, I'm gonna make for you a video to show you something you must know. In China there is a whole town, and I mean a town, it's a town from the size from New York or bigger, who is only dedicated to do RC cars. This town has the brand Star Hobby. Star Hobby are making many cars for many brands. Most of them are cheaper cars. Hobbytech, Carson, and some other stuff. And it's also there who makes, maybe, I'm not sure for yet, I not have all infos now 100%, but they do Arma and Corelli stuff, and that's explain us why we have some plastic issues with that cars or some little difference. I'm gonna investigate further. It's gonna take some time, and I even not know if I can get all infos, because you know they all hide that like really big secrets. So what I hope, if with this upcoming from Chinese and Taiwanese brand under their own name, is that the big brands gonna stick the finger out from their ass and come down with the price, or do for us really better stuff. Because when you buy for 850 euro a HPI Savage Flux, which has tire who explodes by the first run, the super bad servo, and two soft plastics, that's boring. That's really boring. That's really something I don't like. So I really hope that more from them is coming, and that's on the other side, the other one gonna put the second or third gear and go forward really faster to do us cooler stuff. Like the crazy stuff in the moment by Horizon Hobby, each car you want is about 650 euros. Low Z LMT 650, Low Z LMT Roller 650, Low Z Ray 650, and it is way too much for what it is. So I really hope that one from this Chinese brand or Taiwanese brand gonna do for us a solid axle monster truck to push the other one a little bit at the limit. So they're gonna, I hope they're gonna wake up. So if you know this brand, if you have something from HPI like this, I would say I wait for you in the comments. Guys, have a nice day. See you soon.